I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of rabid teenagers in their unnatural habitats. I haven't found food in 8 hours. I'm starting to crave bacon. Lots of bacon.
Hey guys, Sung here with a quick tutorial from Sony Vegas. What you just saw was a funny clip from an event we had last fall in our youth group. And what we're going to focus on is how I did the blurred face. So you can see here, this is a young man's face. His name's Nate. And we want to go ahead and just blur it. If you happen to have a use for that. I've had a use for that in previous projects, and so I thought, hey, you guys might need to know it as well. So the first thing we need to do is actually create a duplicate of this particular track. So we're going to come over here and just right click on this, say insert track, and we're going to click on the clip that we want. Make sure it's highlighted with this yellow box. Hold down the control key, left click, drag up, make sure that it's lined up. You can see by the yellow vertical line there that's lined up. Release, and we are good to go. Now what we're going to do now is come into the pan and crop tool right here, and one of the things that I've done is engaged right here the sync cursor. This will sync up our cursor both in the pan and crop tool as well as in our timeline. You can see the two moving in conjunction with one another. So as I move this one, we'll move back, and we want to get to where he's just off camera. And now we're going to move just on camera. And the thing that's really neat about this as well is you can use your arrow keys left and right to move frame by frame. So if I come off here, don't need the blurring, but here we want to go ahead and do that. Now, this mask tool here, at least the last time I knew, it was at least in version 11 of the Studio Vegas, was not available. It's one reason why I upgraded to the professional version. So I want to go ahead and click this guy, and it's going to open up all these different tools here, including the anchor creation tool and the anchor deletion tools. Right now we want to use the anchor creation tool, and we're just going to put these little dots, just clip right around his face, just past his glasses, go ahead and click out here and down here, and then I'm going to go ahead and you can move these around, you can stretch them just a little bit. Go to your normal editing tool, you can stretch them as well. Just move this up a little bit, and this is where the cursor comes in handy. So if you click down on the cursor here, it's engaged and you can begin to frame forward. Now you notice how this he's now shot past where I created the anchors and the field, and we want to make sure that his face stays within this field. So one thing we can do is we can either pull this out, which eventually we're going to want to do because as his face comes into full frame, it's going to get bigger. We can do that, and then we click back down here on the cursor, and you can see he's moving quickly. So what we can do is go ahead and right click and hit select all, and then what that allows us to do is move this entire frame. And we can stretch out the entire frame as well here. We could also right click and deselect all so that we can then come down and just move the individual anchors. And then we can click back down in here again. So we're moving forward, just kind of tracking with it. Select all. Just keep the frame moving with him, and so forth. So now for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through this whole process. Actually, maybe I will, and I'll just go ahead and speed it up and we'll get to the end. So I'll catch you in just a second. Okay, so we've gone ahead and we've made our mask. Now you can see here that it's not pixelated at the moment. So what we need to do is actually apply a video effect. So we come down here to video effects, and there's two different types that you can choose. I've used the Gaussian blur, which is up here, and then also pixelate. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and use pixelate just because it seems to be more of a standard when it comes to faces. When I've done text, Gaussian blur seems to be very classy. If you've watched any of my other videos, at times you may see them, especially the ones on WordPress when I've gone to our different sites and just went ahead and blurred out the text for the website. We just go ahead and drag this down to the track that we want to apply it to, and you can see here the video effects icon has now changed colors, and you can see that it's pixelated a little bit, but there's just not much going on there. So we just go ahead and play with these sliders a little bit. You can see it just begins to blur itself out. See, depending on how far you go, you can either be a lot or a little. And then you can always go back in as well if you see that the pan and crop is just a little bit too big. So go ahead and deselect that all, because this is just a little awkward down here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this anchor and just drag this up, and you can see that in real time changing itself. Another cool thing about this function is you can grab right here in the middle and actually bend and warp it a little bit just to try and touch things up. Make it a little less goofy looking. And again, you can come back in with your effects and just really play with how you want this to go ahead and look. So then you come in, and I'm going to go ahead and mute the track here real quick. We'll just watch him come in. And there you can see it. So hopefully this has been helpful. If it has, go ahead and give me a like, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in, drop me a comment. I'll try and help you out. And anyway, you guys have a great day.